Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today I have a corner pop-up card using the Beauty of Tomorrow bundle. This is the card, and I wanted it also to be a card for Thanksgiving, so I've used another stamp set from Sparkle of the Season, so I could use that sentiment there. This is a photopolymer stamp set, and it also has dies to match for the 3 seasons. The stamp set and dies I used are Blackberry Beauty Suite, and you can find it on pages 44 to 45 in the July to December 2021 mini catalogue. The papers I used are from the Blackberry Beauty 12 by 12 or 30.5 by 30.5 centimeters specialty designer series paper. I've cut them down from the 12 by 12 to 6 by 6 inch pieces, and they've got gold foiling on it, and it's really pretty. This one's got owls, oak leaves, more owls, and we're going to be using this one. I also used elements from the Blackberry Beauty Ephemera pack. This is what's in the pack. There are 2 sheets of this, pre-die cut, 2 sheets of this, and 1 sheet of this. For this card I used this flower here, so let's pop that one out. And this label here, it's a strip of the gold ribbon that comes in the suite. Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and Blackberry Bliss and Early Espresso inks. For the card base you need a piece of Blackberry Bliss that's been cut at 4 1/8 by 11 3/4. So with the long side at the top you score at 4 1/8 and 5 7/8. So basically the card will then become square. In metric that will be 10.5 by 29 centimeters long, and you score at 10.5 and 14.5 centimeters. So while I remember, I'll glue that down. We'll give it a chance to bond. To make this portion you need a piece that is 8 inches by 8 inches square. This is in very vanilla cardstock. You can see from the diagram here that this top left corner has been cut off, so essentially these 2 sides adhere to the card. So the greyed out area is surplus to requirements. That goes on the bottom inside of the card, and that goes on the bit that folds down on the front of the card. So you align it at 4 inches, put your blade, cutting blade, at 4 inches, which is there, and cut up. Move your cutting blade away and score from 4 inches down to the bottom. Now turn your cardstock anti-clockwise, align it at 4 inches again, move your cutting blade away and score from 4 inches down to the bottom. Then bring your cutting blade up, line it at 4 inches, and then cut up. So then this piece should be cut off like so. Okay. Burnish the score line. in my scoreboard. Now I'm using the scoreboard because it's more visible than if I did it on the trimmer. So basically you want to score from that point there on the diagonal down to this point here. So if you look at the cardstock, you're scoring from the bottom left corner of this square up to the top right. Okay. You fold that and burnish it. Bring in my stamp apparatus and I'll ink that up with Blackberry Bliss. Now we want to cut our designer series paper. I'm going to set this aside, and you want to cut a square that is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So let's line that up. And I want a bit of the top to show, so I'm going to have to chop off a little bit of the blank space and align it up at 3 7/8 inches. And that will be my inside square. Now you have to be careful which way up you are gluing it. So it has to be up this way. So it goes in this way. With that piece down. Double check it's the right way up. In metric, this piece measures 9.5 by 9.5 centimeters. Then you need another piece of Blackberry Beauty Specialty Designer Series paper, and I've used this pattern here because it matches with the early espresso colour in there. And this measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and in metric that's 9.9. So we need to cut that in half diagonally. So bring in my trimmer and align the point of that to the point in the opposite corner. Make sure it's in the groove and slice it in half. I think I forgot to record it, but anyway, you adhere the two triangles to the section here, then you can add it to your project. So let's glue this piece, apply adhesive, fold that down and center it onto your cardstock here. Then to glue this portion to the back of that card, you just put adhesive on here and close the card. With the leftover piece, you trim it down to size. So trim it to 1.5. You want that at 4 inches. If I put it at 4 inches, it will cut off the pattern. So I think I'll cut off a little bit off the bottom. Still not enough. I can glue that piece there. These strips here can vary. It wasn't precise, I was just using leftovers. So you can use the leftover strips. It's not very much, this only a little bit. It's optional, you can use it or you don't need to use it. Now I can attach my flower. Attach a piece of ribbon. I've used tear and tape on the back and pop it on. Bring in my Ephemera label and I'm going to stamp Thankful for You. I put some mini dimensionals across there and then I'm going to just pop the label on top. Add a rhinestone to the bottom. Then I'm going to use the Beautiful Leaves dies and I'm going to be using these 4 little ones. Actually, I only need 3. I'll die cut 3 of these leaves. So these dies has just one big die, one which will cut out the image on here. This one will cut out this image, this owl. Is it an owl? I'm not sure. Bring in my cuttings platform 1, the thin die adapter platform 2, the base platform 3, some cardstock, the dies with the cutting edge face down, top cutting plate 3, and I'm ready to run it through the machine and I'll be back. Now maybe I should have done this before glued the card in, but never mind. Just a tiny bit of glue down the bottom and I'll add my leaves. So there's my leaves. And lastly, piece in very vanilla for the back of the card, 3 3/4 inches by 5.5, and in metric that will be 9.5 by 13.5 centimeters. So I'm just going to use this image to stamp a flower in the bottom left hand corner in early espresso. Adhesive on the back, then glue it to the back. And voila, the card is finished. I also did one in the Evening Evergreen early release product, and this is the one I did for that, and it sparked the inspiration for this card here. Thanks for watching. Bye.